Good evening, everyone. Again, normal procedures apply. So if you do want to ask a question, please raise your hand.
Come on, boys. I have training tomorrow morning. Come on.
We'll start with Phil Kirkbride.
I have training tomorrow morning.
Phil, do you want to do the first question, please? Phil Kirkbride. Is he there?
No, he's not there.
Can't see him.
Oh, Mr. Lewis is back. Mr. Lewis.
Right, we're going to go to Joe Prince Wright. Just want to ask a question. Joe. Joe Prince Wright, unmute, please. I can see you. Yes, there we go.
Let's go.
First of all, you talked about the passion of your players on the pitch. Was that the kind of response you wanted after the Sheffield United result? And how will it hold you in good stead for the rest of the season?
Which fight? During the game or at half time?
Both.
Both. I think they are the same thing. They are the same spirit. We spoke a lot after the game against Sheffield, and one of the things that we spoke was about to have critical sense, to be open with each other, to be demanding with each other, to don't accept just the attitude, to don't be passive in relation to the others. And I think that was a consequence of that. The performance was very solid. I don't know if you had the same feeling that I had on the bench, but my feeling was the game is under control. I never felt that the game was not under control. And even in the moments where they had the ball, I think we felt always very, very comfortable defensively. Could we play better? Could we score more? Yes, of course. But I always fear matches after bad defeats, because sometimes you stay in the bad defeat. Sometimes you carry to the match the weight of the bad performance, the weight of the critic, and the boys were great in their attitudes. They were very solid. They really fought hard for the 3 points, and in this moment of the season, the most important thing is the points to try to finish the best possible position.
Okay, let's go to Gary Cottrell, Sky. Gary.
Yes, hello, just unmuting. Hello, Jose, thank you for your time. You spoke about desire. That was the key word, I think, that came out of your meeting with the players. I think Harry Kane probably had more touches in his own penalty area than he did in the opposition penalty area, and I mean that in a good way. Did he show that desire along? It's almost an example.
He does what he does always, which is to play for the team. And sometimes to play for the team is to finish attacking situations. Other times to play for the team is to do what we did today. We knew that in the second half probably the spaces would appear more for Sonny and for Lucas than for him. They were losing. Carlo likes Coleman and Dean to go forward. We knew that the spaces would probably appear in these positions there. Harry dropped, and maybe people doesn't know, but he is so good technically. He's so good as holding the ball that sometimes he can even play well when he drops back, and he doesn't play really as a target striker. So he did it for the team. And this is very, very important, that a team doesn't have this selfish situation of I have to do a certain kind of things. No, you have to do what the team needs you to do, and I'm happy.
I know you've got training in the morning, and it's a team effort. It's not about Jose Mourinho, and you won't thank me for another stat, but that's 200 Premier League wins. Not many managers can say that, Jose.
No, but also not many matches, not many managers work in 3 of the top football clubs in the country and in the world. I was lucky enough to work for 3 of the biggest clubs in the country, and when you are in these big clubs, it's easier to have good results.
Thank you.
Okay, go to Ali Gold. Ali. There you are.
Jose. Can I just ask you a bit more about that Son and Lloris moment? I mean, what was it about, and how long did it kind of carry on into half time?
No, in this moment, I am the last one to arrive to the dressing room because I come from the other side. Because now our dressing rooms, I think you understand that, are in the opposite side of the bench. So when I was arriving, I just saw the back of it. I was not in there, but when I arrived in the dressing room, everything was over, and they were hugging each other. What happened was last minute of the first half, ended with a Richarlison shot, a shot that was diagonal shot from the right side, and Hugo thought that in that minute of the game, attacking players should do a little bit more, and he was arguing with Sonny and Sonny with him. When I arrived at half time, I wanted just to make sure that the players understand that I was very happy with that. And when I told them that, I think they realized that nothing wrong, and let's move.
Can I just ask you, slightly unrelated note, is Ryan Sessegnon carrying an injury? Just not in your squad again today?
No, not injury. He's working with us for a couple of weeks. But I thought you'd ask me why Dennis Sirkin, 18 years old, is on the bench, which is a very positive thing. I like Dennis very, very much. He works really, really hard. And I think to have the opportunity of so many players on the bench, I think is very nice for Dennis to be and to feel that he's an option. Like Harvey White was on the bench, I think, against Manchester United, and Skip is on the bench almost every match. I think is also important for the young guys.
Okay, we're going to take 3 more questions. One from Jacob Steinberg, Dan Kilpatrick, and finish with Darren Lewis. Jacob. Where are you, Jacob? Jacob. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Hi, sorry. Jose, I thought you said on your television interview that you felt the team needed to grow up. I wonder if you could just elaborate on that, what you mean by that.
Can you repeat, please?
On your television interview, you said you felt that the team needs to grow up. I just wonder if you could elaborate on that, what you mean.
Look, what happened at half time is a good image of that. A team of good boys, a team of nice boys. The only thing that they can win in the end of the season is the Fair Play Cup, which is something that I never won, and I'm not interested in winning that. You need to have a certain character. You need to grow up in terms of your mentality, in your responsibility, in your consistency, because it's very, very important to be consistent too. To have a good game, to win a match, then lose the other one, then win another one, then draw another one. That is the kind of mentality that doesn't take you further in your ambition. So is not a specific a concept. It is a concept that covers many areas, and I think it's very, very important. I don't like a team without communication. I don't like a team without demanding from each other. I don't like a team without a critical sense. And probably what happened today at halftime shouldn't happen there. Should happen just inside of the dressing room. But I can promise you that my teams, my winning teams, we had big fights. We had big fights in the team.
Okay, go to Dan Kilpatrick. Dan, bottom left. Dan, you've frozen. Last chance. I will finish with Darren Lewis. No, Darren Lewis, last question, please.
Callum told me.
Dan, you there?
I think he's gone. Darren.
Yeah, okay.
Jose, I know you won't talk too much about it, but only Sir Alex Ferguson. If I could just squeeze two questions into one, if I may, but only Sir Alex Ferguson has required fewer games to get to the landmark that you've reached. And I know a lot gets talked about style of play and whatever else, but the game is about winning. And I just, wondered if you could talk about your mentality of winning that you're trying to instill into the players. And if I can just, as an add to that, Jose, has this come at the right time for the game against Arsenal, a good Arsenal side that are getting their confidence back at the moment?
I think that the game against Arsenal will be always important because it's against Arsenal. But in my mentality, it's only important if we win against Bournemouth. Because to play against Arsenal, just for the sake of they are our big rivals, and we want to win our matches against our rivals, that doesn't make me very, very happy. I want the game against Arsenal to be played if we are playing against them for something. We need to win against Bournemouth, and then we play against Arsenal, and then the game becomes big because it's Arsenal, but becomes big because we have objectives on the table. And in relation to the 200 victories, I repeat, of course, as you know, I'm not a very humble guy, but I have to say that when you coach three of the best clubs in England, you have more chances to get into that. Sir Alex did it because all his career was in England with Manchester United. I did it because I did with Chelsea, with Manchester United, and with Tottenham. But I think nobody asks the coaches without many victories or without titles. Your team did 200 amazing performances. You are telling me your teams, they won 200 Premier League matches. You don't tell anyone that won nothing. Your team had 100 or 200 amazing performances. But I want to admit that today I would be even more happy if it was not just a victory and it was a beautiful victory. I would be more happy, and I want my team to do that.
All right, guys.
See you guys.
Thank you.